Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I'm a student company secretary. My question is, when I conversate with the non-Muslim friend, I use God. I do not refer as Allah and something like that. So my Muslim friend says that I am committing a mistake there. So is it right to refer as God, or shall I refer as Allah only?
MashaAllah, sister has asked a very important question. She said that she was speaking to a non-Muslim friend, and one of the Muslim friends, she corrected the sister and she said, don't say God, say Allah. Is it correct or is it not correct? We all know that God is not used in the Quran. We all know God is not used in the Ahadith. We all know that the word God is an English word. So can we call Allah by the name God? MashaAllah, Jazakallah khair, sister. One of the other points that we should remember is that when you are saying that other languages have certain words which translated may be like the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For example, God, the English word, is a translation of Allah's attribute ilah. Ilah, if translated into English, it means God. Similarly, if you translate Ar-Rab, Ar-Rab is an attribute of Allah, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. This Ar-Rab, if you translate into Sanskrit, it is Vishnu. If you translate Al-Khaliq into Sanskrit, it is Brahma. So Brahma and Vishnu, can I call Allah Brahma and Vishnu? I can't call Allah Brahma and Vishnu. I cannot call Allah God. What I can say is, I am using the translation of Allah's attribute ilah as God. If I am speaking to a person who doesn't know any language except Sanskrit, I would say in Sanskrit language I am trying to say that Allah is Vishnu, in the sense that Allah's name is not Vishnu, Allah's attribute is Ar-Rab, and in Sanskrit the translation of Ar-Rab is Vishnu. I cannot say these are the names of Allah. So while speaking in another language, for the convincement of the audience, to an extent if you use that word so that only they don't confuse what you are exactly trying to say, to that level as a translation, your niyyah, innamal amalu bin niyyah, Sahih Bukhari volume 1 hadith 1, your deeds depend upon your intentions. Why are you saying God? I am saying God only merely for the sake that, because the English speaking person may not understand when I say ilah. So I said God only to give him the impression that when you say God, when he says God, God, you are thinking he is the creator. See that God is actually Allah. So I need my maximum time to make sure that even if I am using some translations of other languages for the attributes of Allah, I should make it a clear point that God is not the name of Allah, but the choicest name of Allah that Allah chose for himself is Allah. So I should educate that person. And in Urdu many times we say Khuda Hafiz. Khuda is not the name for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You cannot say Khuda. For a Muslim there is no excuse now. For a Muslim, what's the problem for a Muslim to say Allah? You see, but now the problem is, more than the Muslims, it's the non-Muslims who make a research on Islam and Muslims today. The American CIA and FBI agents and the American think tanks who write about Muslims and Islam, they say, if a person says Khuda Hafiz in Muslim community, he is a very moderate Muslim. If he says Allah Hafiz, he is a Wahhabi. You should be careful with this fellow. If he says Allah Hafiz, he is a Wahhabi. Imagine at the Muslims who distorted the name of Allah. A non-Muslim feels that if you are taking the name of Allah, you are a terrorist. Astaghfirullah al-Azim. These hypocrites are to be blamed for it. Let us peaceful people, I am very peaceful, mashallah. Say, I don't blast bombs, I don't kill anybody out of the way. So I am a very, very peace-loving person, and I am very honored. I love calling the name Allah. There is no name, no word in my life that I love as much as I love the name Allah. Let's use it as much as possible, inshallah. I hope I answered your questions.